Hi YouTube, welcome back to WTF Rc Cars. So I'm going to pick my son up a Mini Z Evo, and this is the WMM 8500 kV brushless one, and it's MR03 Evo SP. So we've got the actual chassis kit and everything, just waiting on a FlySky receiver for it. And we've also got the Mercedes AMG GT3, and this is number 47 24-hour Nurburgring 2018. So quite a nice car. So let's get in for a closer look and see what we actually get in the box with these things. So first of all, let's have a look what we get with the body kit. So we get the body and the wheels, and you get this quite nice display case, and this is a wide, so it should match the chassis kit we got. You do get a bunch of instructions telling you how to fit it, so we get them, and you get this weird little thing with it, just some quick start instructions. So let's have a closer look. And the detail on this is almost too good to run. It is a really nice looking scale kit or scale model, and even down to the tiny little towing eye on the front. That is really impressive. It's almost too nice to actually run this. But these are held on with a little screw at the bottom. So let's get that undone and we'll have a look. Right, so once we've undone the screw, you've got the little tie wrap that you can cut. And then it's got the sort of little retaining system that holds it in the display box. So we get that removed and have a good look. Look inside and see where the light buckets are all attached, and then again on the rear. It is incredibly detailed. Let's see if we can remove it from its carriage. So I was slightly concerned looking at how delicate this thing is, about how easy it would be to remove it, but if you just move these two back ever so slightly, and then you can just wiggle the front, and then that removes the carriage, sort of the carry case thing, and then we've got a really nice body shell. The detail on these is absolutely ridiculous. And we've got little tiny exhausts. So it is really impressive. And the one thing I'm looking at on these lights, they have little tiny blobs of hot glue on the back of them. So I'm wondering if that's so you can remove these inserts and swap them for LEDs. Certainly have to look into that. It would be nice to have a full working light kit on it. But if they come off and they come out, I'm guessing that's where you put the lighting kit in so it can hold in properly. It's quite a cool idea. And then on the carriage for the wheels, we've just got the front mount and the wheels for the RC and tyres. So let's have a look what else we get. So in the box we get quite a comprehensive instruction manual. We get this little bit. Not sure if that's just the quick start guide, but we get the actual Mini Z Evo itself. That's where you'll be placing the receiver for whatever kind of transmitter you've got. We've got some very nice parts on here. Little anodized bits, really smooth feeling differential, and the brushless motor. And I believe if it's like the other Mini Zs, we've got one of these connections for the gyro and one for the lighting kit. I think that's what they're for on this one. we've got functional rear suspension with the damper mounted up top, and then the front suspension works by these arms that lever, and then your hubs actually slide up. Now, I'm not sure if you get this with all the Mini Z kits, but you do get a bunch of arms to alter your steering. You get a starter pack which has got your, I believe it's the cover for the receiver and a little tool in there. We get a bunch of spare O-rings, we get another spring and some spacers for the suspension, and we get some oil. And then I'm going to have to look what that is. Is it a bind button cover or something like? Not really sure. Unless it's rubber, so it may be a spare diaphragm for the top of the shock. I have to try and find out what it is. And we get a bunch of other parts. Not sure if that's the cover, but we're definitely going to have to go through instructions and find out what these are. I think I recognise some of them as the different positions for the motor, so you can use different pinions or spur gears, so you can change the gearing. But yeah, you get quite a lot in this. Right, so first thing I've noticed is you get the battery covers. These have got a long and a short pin, and then all you have to do with these is clip them on. So that's the first bit I've found in the toolkit. Then we get this strange little thing. Not sure if that's so you can press the bind button, because there is a hole in the top of this, and I'm guessing that is the cover. Or does it go that way around? So that's where you're going to place the receiver. So I'm not sure if that hole will line up with the bind button. Well, let's see what else we've got. So to remove the wheels from the sort of show carriage, you just pull them off and these little nuts slide off at end, and then your wheels come off. So we've got under the little nut and then pop a bearing in either side, and we'll pop the front two wheels on. So you just want to carefully use the tool to screw the nut off, and then we got these tiny little bearings. Let's see if we've got something to push it down. It's a bit harder doing this with one hand than two. So you just make sure the bearings are seated. And then drop that one in. And then when you're tightening these up, be very careful not to strip the threads, because they are very, very delicate. So basically that's how your wheel nuts want to sit. And then some of the other parts we've got in here is so I'm not sure which way around it's set up, but you've got a wide and narrow steering setup in here. So I'm guessing it just changes some of these plates around and the steering bar, so you can change the sort of offset of your steering. But let's get the rear wheels on. Right, so we've got all those wheels on. This side has bearings, that one doesn't, because of the way the diff drives. So next we're going to need to get some oil and a little diaphragm into a shock, so we're going to remove this and that one. So I'll get them took off. So to remove the shock, we've got the front screw and then the two on the outside of it. So we get all them three off, and then it should just lift off. Then we've got to screw this apart. So we're going to need the tiny little diaphragm, and then we're going to need a silicone oil. And the easiest way that I found of getting this apart is just pull the spring back, hold the shock body and unscrew it. So we're going to want to fill this shock with this oil, and it really won't take much oil. So you're going to be able to fill this quite a number of times. And we very carefully need to screw the shock cap back on. So once we've got that done, we then need to put it back in place. And you can use the included drivers, but I've got the 1.5mm MIP, so I'm going to use that to get it all back together. And I'll just make sure I've got all three in position. But yeah, I think in the little bags that the Mini Z comes with, I believe you've got, it does mention something about a different mount for the rear shock. I'm not sure if that's in one of these things. Not sure what they're for. Got quite a bit to learn about these little Mini Zs, but we should have rear suspension there, or damped rear suspension. Quite interesting. So next thing we're going to need to do is mount the body clip system. See if we can work out where this goes. So I don't think you need the original screws it comes with that hold it to the sort of carriage, display carriage. It looks like it should be these two. So you've got your two little pins to line up. Just be very careful tightening these up, because you don't want to be stripping threads. Let's drop these back in so we don't lose them. Right, so we've got as little alpha bind button when his receiver turns up. We've got the little alpha antenna, we've got his battery clips, we've got his little rear damper setup, and you do have, I believe in here there's a different spring and some spacers, so you can adjust your preload and tension on spring. So we should be able to carefully slide that in, and then the body should clip on. And there we have it. One almost fully assembled Mini Z. Quite an impressive little RC. Not sure how long these mirrors are going to last flying around a track, or the tiny little ring towing eye on the front. But a really impressive little Mini Z. But let's wrap this one up. Right, so hopefully that's given you a bit of an idea of what you get with a Mini Z Evo. I've got the Mini Z buggy as well, just to show you a bit of a size comparison between them. So if we look, not a great deal of difference in footprint. I think the Evo is ever so slightly longer and the buggy is ever so slightly wider. We do have a Pro and an MB4, and I've got the Mini Z buggy running on both, and I will be getting the hopefully FlySky sending me out the receiver for the Mini Z Evo, and again I'll be trying that both binding to the MB4 and Pro, because I've been asked that a few times. I've seen a few people that's having problems getting it to work on the Pro, so be interesting to get that sorted out for you guys. I did get a few people having issues with binding to the buggies with the RM005 little adapter, but I've done a video showing you how to get that connected and there's no issues at all. That drives fantastic on it. So hopefully we can get the same for the Evo. Be interesting to know what sort of things we can get for this, what mods we can get for it. If they do lighting kit and everything, I'm going to have to look into. With the chassis kit, you do get different offsets for the front top arms, and I believe you get the kit to adjust the width of the front wheels as well. So it'd be interesting to see what that's for with different body shells and everything, I'm guessing. But hopefully you find that useful and a bit of an insight into what you actually get in a box. You do have to buy the chassis and the body and wheel set separate. I think the chassis was around £250 in UK, and I believe the body is around 50-ish, depending where you get it from. But hopefully you find that useful or entertaining, and looking forward to running this thing when we get a receiver in it. But thanks for tuning in to WTF Rc Cars. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to share to friends and family. And catch you guys in the next one.